Welcome back, everyone, to this very interesting, fast-paced, rapid-fire session with four very interesting innovators. My pleasure in introducing Mr. Modak to you. So, just two sentences. He's basically a teacher, researcher, mentor, and a sustainability and environment management guru. And he's mentoring several organizations. We keep reading about his posts and learn tremendously from him on a continuous basis. And we are grateful to him that he has taken time out, very short notice, in fact, to come and chair this session, speak to these innovators, help the participants understand what it takes to become a sustainability and environment evangelist. So over to you, Modak sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Malini. Glad that you gave me today this opportunity to be amongst all of you. And as I have been, I logged in a little earlier. I think it's going really well. I can see lots of good, excellent presentations. And I think now we have reached a point where we want to listen to some of the business heads, successful companies who have ventured into the area of plastic waste recycling. So we have here, I think, 4 presenters. And what we could do is maybe I'd like to invite each one of them to talk about their business in recycling of plastic waste. And maybe as each one finishes, I may put just a couple of questions or a question before moving on to the next presenter. And maybe then at the end, we could do a quick questions across all the presenters. And then I will give my concluding remarks based on this session. Is that okay, Malini? And we have about totally 30 minutes, right, to do this?
Yes. That's right.
Okay, so we'll begin with you, Dr. Harini Priya. I would like to invite you now come up and talk about the very interesting technology innovation I was reading about that you are into. Could you just come up and tell us about what kind of innovation you are right now working on? And I believe that you are contemplating to scale it up, and you're already in discussions with several organizations for the use of your technology. So over to you, Harini Priya. Just take about, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes to put some of your high points of your innovation. And then we will go similarly to the other panelists or speakers. Over to you, Dr. Harini.
Thank you very much. I thank Dr. Malini also for giving this opportunity. Our company is Inventors Bio, which deals with energy storage. We are innovators of disruptive protective lithium cassette anode by bringing metallic lithium to lithium solid state batteries, high energy density and high power density battery, which is an internal hybrid of lithium ion supercapacitor as well as lithium ion battery as a single cell with a 3 electrode assembly. These are all our technology. And when we move to our energy and environment vertical, we work on plastic recycling by a very novel technology. We call it as microbial electrochemical cells. We call it microbial electrochemical cells because it is using microbes which are non-pathogenic in nature and anaerobic in nature, so it will never harm any human beings. When exposed to air, they die off. And what it does is it secretes enzymes which is going to eat the plastic and give you a value-added product like carbonates, bicarbonates, phosphates, terephthalic acid, polyethylene glycol, and ethylene glycol. We have done scientific interpretation of our products also by C13NMR, and we have proved that we are getting terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol as the product from plastic. What is the major advantage of our product is that it is a highly modular design. You can go as low as 500 grams of plastic recycling to 100 tons of plastic recycling. And the design is, we are planning it to be vertical and not horizontal. So the space requirement is also very less. And the microbe analysis, when we did with 16S rRNA sequencing, we found that some bacteria is responsible for this type of recycling of the plastic, converting them into value-added product. And another thing that we need to add here is, it is a very silent, green and clean technology, because it does not involve any emission of greenhouse gases or harmful gases like dioxins or heavy metals. Because these microbes, they are very efficient in converting even heavy metals from their heavy metal state to a lighter metallic state. For example, if you take chromium 6+, it can go to chromium 3+, and thereby forming nanoparticles also used as a byproduct for the industries. For example, titanium oxide can be used in white paints, so on and so forth. And the water requirement is very, very minimal, space requirement is very minimal, and it is a layman technology. So if I teach a diploma holder in chemical engineering or electrical engineering to assemble it and maintain it, they can do it very nicely. And you don't even need to have education, even a village person can handle it. It's a very, very modular technology, and you don't need segregation of the plastic at source. It can be organic, inorganic, bio-waste and plastic, everything together, it digests. So organic waste goes into bioelectricity, inorganic waste converted to carbonates and bicarbonates and phosphates, whereas plastics, which includes even acrylic-based plastic, getting converted into a business model where we can go either in equity or we can to the users or to the manufacturers. And we are talking to cosmetic industries where artificial hair made of acrylic plastics. This is a bigger industry in India. Mostly Godrej Consumer Product Limited is into it. And this giant multinational company is interested in our product, and we are talking to them to convert their waste, acrylic waste, into value-added product. And to be very, very precise, this bacterium had been taken from the landfill itself. The multiculture bacterium had been taken from the landfill itself. So we did not culture the bacterium or anything. It is nature given thing. It took million years to digest the plastic. We just accelerated it in the lab to get an innovative product, which we call it as microbial electrochemical cells. So with this, I give the floor for question and answer.
Yeah, thank you, Hari. This is very exciting. I was just observing the kind of when you described your technology, you touched upon that this is a technology which has a low footprint in terms of area. It can handle all kinds of waste streams, which is interesting. And you also said it's something can be operated by even a layman.
Yes.
I mean, the point here I want to bring it to the audience that when an innovator wants to come up with something which gets picked up in the market, these are the questions people who are either investing in you or using your technology are going to ask. So I was very happy that you already have addressed all these basic issues which come. But a couple of questions to you, because Harini,
I would like to add one point to it. Reaching the last man is our motto. So if you have to reach the last man, then your technology should be in such a way that they could handle it.
Right.
So
the other thing I observed, you did mention that you can have as small reactors as 500 grams to tons.
Yes.
And that scale part is also something which you have looked into. So I have two interesting, I got the interest to know more now about your technology. First is, what is the typical startup time for your reactor to start functioning?
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous, right away.
Spontaneous. Yeah, right away. The moment you put the plastic and microbe together, they will start reacting.
And this is going to be a batch process, isn't it?
It depends on how they want. For example, if you are going to smart city kind of projects, we can have a way to have the plastic waste or any waste for that matter, dumped waste in the dustbin directly going into our chamber, where the bacterium starts acting on it. And each chamber can be of the capacity that the dustbin can hold. So you can make it a batch process. Yeah, you can make it as a batch process as well as a continuous process. It all depends on how the customer wants.
And then, Harini, how about after the byproducts which are generated in this degradation process, is there any separation technology then to be used to separate glycols, for example?
Yes, yeah, it's a very simple technology, I would say. Even a 12th standard 12th class student can handle it. One is filtration process to remove the solid waste. The second one is solvent extraction. You use very solvent like ethanol or methanol and extract ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid.
Right.
Actually, terephthalic acid goes as terephthalate, sodium terephthalase, so it's a solid residue, so you can filter it. Whereas ethylene glycol, you extract it with very common solvents.
Right, right. So that's what I thought. When you will describe your system, please also talk about this part.
Sure.
That you have a separation task to be to be done after the reactions have been completed. Right. So I wish you all the best,
Thank you.
Dr. Harini. And I think I can see it's a very latest innovation. And I also saw on your website that you're approaching Indian Railways also for putting it on the railway stations. I will like to talk to you. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you on that separately. Certainly, very exciting. Thank you so much, Dr. Harini.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks for
I think this was very, very inspirational. I think.